you are a candidate, and so this is your first time going down this road?
Yep, this is the first time I've ever won anything. I ran for Salem Kaiser School Board in 2003, a long time ago. So, but this is the first time I've ever really run for anything.
Well, to encourage you, Abraham Lincoln lost, and then he won presidency. So, so I think you'll win this seat here. And
I hope so.
You know, if there's a problem, you can just run for president, and you'll be fine.
I'll talk to my wife about that.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to have you as your president. But anyway, so who are you? Why are you running? What issues matter to you the most, and things like that?
You know, I'm a conservative, and one of the things, so I've worked with a little group, it's called Oregon Citizens Lobby, and it kind of grew out of the why don't they read the bill kind of furor of about 4 or 5 years ago or something, you know, when we had a 2,700-page health care bill and nobody read it, and it passed in 3 days, and we have to pass the bill to find out what's in the bill. And so there's a bunch of citizens that got together and started a group called Oregon Citizens Lobby. And we go down to the Capitol and we rent a room there when they're in session, and we read the bills. And
is that, yeah, the Citizens Lobbyist?
You're right, Oregon Citizens Lobby it's called.
Yeah, I went over there actually and interviewed him, and I have had people like you that have volunteered. Yeah, tell a little bit more about that so people can get involved in this.
Yeah, we have volunteers throughout the state, and so that's the one through the miracle of the internet is we have people that live way out in Eastern Oregon, and they can't conveniently get to Salem to sit in a session, but anybody can go download a bill off the internet, and then we have where you read it and then you score it and put some commentary on it, and then so we have a group of principles that we have, and you recommend that the bill be voted yes or no on, and then the legislators get scored whether they vote yes or no on it, and then we have an impact of the bill.
What are the principles?
Now you're going to embarrass me.
Well, not all of them, just in general.
Yeah, so there's 5 of them. I should go back and work on these, but it's limited government, free markets, local control. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of gets the point across.
Yeah, you get the idea.
So people who are tired of expanded government and dishonesty.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so, that group, that process had a big impact on me. One of the things that I kind of had this attitude before I got involved with this group that, oh, you know, that's Salem, that's the big marble building, and these are legislators, and they're smarter than me, and they're better than me, and I could never say anything to them, or, you know. But then you get in there and you get involved in the process, and you find out, no, these people put their pants on one leg at a time, and they care about what people have to say, and if you go and you lean on them, they don't always do what you want, but they listen, and it was...
Did you find that to be true? I mean, even amongst the Democrats, because I tried to talk to some Democrats over something and tried to get their viewpoint, and
yeah. So most of them will talk to you, whether they're going to agree with you or work with you. That may be another story. But most of the legislators there will talk to you. And so but anyway, so that opened me to the legislature and to what was possible down there. And you know, we're conservatives. We're in the minority down there, and even more in the minority than just the Republican Party, because not everybody that's in the Republican Party was a conservative, and that's what we have to work with, and it was a good experience, and I'd encourage anybody to get involved if they just go to OregonCitizensLobby.org, and they can sign up, and when the next session comes around, we'll get them reading the bills and scoring them. So.
Yeah. Well, it's where, you know, even with Republicans, they get criticized for acting too much like Democrats sometimes. And this keeps them from, you know, allowing them to have like special interests that people get mad about, because if they aren't scoring high, it's because, would you say they're following their special interests?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of true. You know, when you have a legislative session, you have, like during a 6-month session, you might have 3,000 bills introduced, and of those, about 750, 800 will get hearings and will kind of get involved in the process, and of those, maybe 500 will get voted on and pass and become law. And so so the sheer numbers there, and I think what happens is that just because the numbers are so big of the amount of legislation, people, their eyes glaze over. And I can't follow all this stuff, and and nobody can, which is why if you have a team to do it, it works out better. But then what the effect of that is then the legislators get the attitude of, I'm kind of making a little caricature here, but that, well, nobody really knows what's going on. There's the 5 or 7 bills that are the big marquee bills of every session, but other than that, the other 493 of them, I can vote however I want with impunity because nobody's paying attention. And so I think some of them get fallen asleep there. So it's important for people to be involved and to get involved and know what's going on. So.
Very certainly. Okay. What issues matter to you the most?
Well, that's interesting. You talk to me one day or another, you might get different things. I'm a conservative, and I'm both a social and a fiscal conservative. And so I'm pro-life, I'm pro-traditional marriage, I'm pro-family, I'm pro-institutions that support families. I'm a fiscal conservative. I think that we need to run our state and our cities and our counties in ways that are respectful of the taxpayers, and I think I hit it on both nails there. That would pretty much describe me. So
okay, well that's good. And people who watch this show regularly know I'm a Christian, and it's so easy to get caught up into the confusion and muck about what's politically correct. And we even have this issue, things that are even politically correct in the church now. In other words, now some churches are marrying same-sex people, whereas that's clearly against the Bible. And I know now you can come up, you can parse words or whatever, but that's goofy, that's nonsense, that's to me is the perversion of the church that we see nowadays. But anyhow,
and the idea that marriage is something that human beings made up, and we control it, and we can do whatever we want, and we can take whatever relationships happen to pop up in civilization, and we're in control. We can assign marriage to that, and I don't think that's the way it is. I think that marriage is something that flows from just the very nature of man and woman, and that God gave us. And there might be other relationships that are valuable. I have a best friend, and that's a valuable relationship, but it's not a marriage.
And and I know people have struggles, and that's not the point. But the point is I think it's very important that we are allowed as a free people. We are allowed to have a faith or have a belief system and run policies from that belief system. I mean, the Bible mandates that I do that. It mandates that I do that in my own life, but it also mandates that I at least do my part to vote correctly in God's eyes. So